Episode 5, 1412 Wrestling. The camera pans across a packed arena, the air thick with excitement and anticipation. The arena is decked out with thousands of VHS tapes hanging from the ceiling, casting flickering shadows. Vintage CRT televisions are stacked on the stage, playing a medley of 90s commercials, adding to the nostalgic atmosphere. The lights dim, and the crowd's murmur crescendos into a roar as the iconic alternative rock band Smashing Pumpkins takes the stage. The opening chords of 1979 reverberate through the arena, and the spotlight focuses on Billy Corgan as he begins to sing. The crowd is bathed in the glow of the stage lights, swaying and singing along to the nostalgic tune. The camera captures close-ups of the band members lost in their performance, as well as wide shots of the audience, completely absorbed by the music. The combination of the nostalgic decor and the powerful performance creates a mesmerizing start to the show. A nostalgic opening to an exciting evening. As the song reaches its climax, the lights flash in sync with the music, creating a visually stunning spectacle. The performance ends with a final, powerful chord, and the crowd erupts into applause and cheers, their excitement setting the tone for the rest of the evening. Segment 1, Backstage with Pauly Shore. The camera transitions from the electrifying performance to the backstage area, where Pauly Shore is seen standing next to a large tally board. The board tracks Tyranno Satan's kills, with names written in a haphazard list. Pauly fumbles with a bottle of Kylie Minogue wine, clearly trying to impress Elvira, who stands nearby, with a mix of amusement and impatience. "Hey, Elvira, check it out. I've got a bottle of Kylie Minogue wine. Thought we could share a drink and tally up Tyranno Satan's kills together. How about it?" Elvira, dressed in her signature gothic attire, raises an eyebrow and crosses her arms, unimpressed by Pauly's attempts. "Seriously, Pauly? You think a bottle of wine and a tally board are going to impress me? Get it together." Pauly looks deflated, struggling to keep his composure as he sets the wine bottle down and tries to look more serious. "I'm just trying to lighten the mood, Elvira. This whole Tyranno Satan thing has everyone on edge." Elvira sighs, shaking her head with a slight smile. "I appreciate the effort, Pauly, but we have bigger things to focus on. I've got an interview with Kurt Angle to prepare for. Maybe you can help me by staying out of trouble for once?" Pauly nods, looking slightly embarrassed but determined to redeem himself. "You got it, Elvira. I'll be on my best behavior." Elvira gives Pauly a nod before turning to walk away, leaving Pauly standing by the tally board, looking at the names with a mix of curiosity and concern. The camera captures Pauly's thoughtful expression before transitioning back to the main arena, where the crowd is still buzzing from the opening performance, eagerly awaiting the next segment of the show. It looks like Pauly has a lot to learn, but there's no doubt that tonight will be filled with excitement and surprises. The scene fades out, transitioning smoothly to the next segment, as the energy in the arena remains high. Segment 3, Match 1 Laser Gun Surfing Battle Championship, Eric Matthews versus Iron Sheik. The camera transitions back to the main arena, where the crowd is eagerly anticipating the first match of the evening. The ring announcer steps into the spotlight, ready to introduce the competitors. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the 1412 Laser Gun Surfing Battle Championship. Introducing first, the challenger from Iran, weighing in at 258 pounds, the Iron Sheik. The lights dim and the crowd reacts with a mix of boos and cheers as Iron Sheik makes his entrance. Waving the Iranian flag and shouting insults, Sheik strides confidently to the ring, his eyes locked on the championship belt. And his opponent from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 170 pounds, the reigning and defending 1412 Laser Gun Surfing Battle Champion, Eric Matthews. The arena lights flash brightly, and the crowd erupts into loud cheers as Eric Matthews makes his entrance. With a confident grin and his laser gun in hand, Eric steps onto his hoverboard, acknowledging the fans' support with enthusiastic waves. He glides to the ring, ready for the chaotic battle ahead. The referee explains the rules to both competitors before signaling for the bell. The match begins with Eric Matthews and Sheik circling each other, their laser guns at the ready. From the start, the match is chaotic. Both competitors zoom around the ring on their hoverboards, firing laser shots at each other and hitting targets placed around the ring. The crowd watches in awe as they perform impressive stunts and maneuvers. This is going to be one wild match. Eric Matthews and Iron Sheik are bringing their A game. Eric's got the agility, but Sheik's experience and strength make him a tough opponent. Mr. Feeney, both competitors are showing remarkable skill. This is anyone's match. As the match progresses, Scott Steiner and his pack of tigers make their way to ringside, causing a distraction. The tigers growl and prowl, adding an element of danger and chaos to the match. Steiner stands menacingly, watching the action with a smug grin. Iron Sheik takes advantage of the distraction, grabbing Eric and locking him in his signature camel clutch. The crowd gasps as Sheik pulls back, applying intense pressure to Eric's neck and back. Sheik's got the camel clutch locked in. This doesn't look good for Eric. Come on, Eric, you can do it. Fight through the pain. Eric needs to find a way out of this. His title is on the line. Meanwhile, Steiner's antics escalate as he starts tossing dumpsters around ringside, adding to the chaos. The distraction allows Eric to muster all his strength and slip out of Sheik's grasp. He quickly rolls Sheik up for a pin. The referee counts to 3, and the crowd erupts into loud cheers as Eric is declared the winner. Here is your winner, and still the 14-12 laser gun surfing battle champion, Eric Matthews. The crowd's cheers reach a fever pitch as Eric stands victorious, raising his laser gun in triumph. Steiner, frustrated by the outcome, glares angrily at Eric, realizing his plan has backfired. Iron Sheik, defeated and frustrated, exits the ring in a huff. What an incredible match. Eric retains his title despite the chaos. Eric showed amazing heart and determination. He truly deserves this victory. Eric's resilience and skill were on full display tonight, a well-earned victory for the champion. As the chaos continues, the camera captures a surreal scene in the rafters, pirates battling hippos. The pirates initially have the upper hand, but suddenly 200 ninjas ambush them, wielding electric guitars. The ninjas strum a powerful chord, causing the pirates to explode in a dazzling display of lights and sound. Totally gnarly save, bro. The crowd is left in a state of disbelief and amazement, the surreal battle adding another layer of excitement to the evening. The camera captures the aftermath of the explosion before transitioning back to the main arena, where the crowd is still buzzing from the thrilling match and unexpected spectacle. The show moves on to the next segment 4, segment 2, backstage with Woody, Buzz Lightyear, Freddy Krueger, and Magikarp. The camera transitions to the backstage area where Woody and Buzz Lightyear are seen standing outside Freddy Krueger's office. They look determined, clearly on a mission. Woody knocks on the door, and after a moment, Freddy Krueger, the president of 1412 Wrestling, opens it, his iconic bladed glove glinting menacingly. Mr. Krueger, we need to talk to you about Magikarp. Yes, sir. This Pokemon is causing chaos and soaking everyone. It's becoming a serious problem. Freddy Krueger looks at them with a mixture of amusement and irritation. He steps aside, allowing them to enter his office. The camera follows as Woody and Buzz stand before Krueger's desk, making their case. We're petitioning to have Magikarp fired. It's getting out of hand. We can't keep having matches and segments interrupted by all this water. Krueger raises an eyebrow, leaning back in his chair and tapping his blades thoughtfully. You want me to fire a Pokemon? Interesting, but what's to say this Magikarp isn't just misunderstood? Maybe it needs some proper training. Before Woody and Buzz can respond, the sound of splashing water echoes through the hallway. The camera cuts to Magikarp by flopping and splashing its way down the corridor, leaving a trail of water in its wake. Crew members scatter, trying to avoid getting soaked. Magikarp flops into Krueger's office, sending a wave of water splashing over Woody, Buzz, and Krueger. The camera captures their shocked and soaked expressions as they try to shake off the water. See what we mean? This is exactly the problem. Krueger shakes his head, water dripping from his hat and glove. He stands up, clearly exasperated by the situation. All right, I get it, but firing Magikarp isn't the solution. We'll find a way to control this chaos. For now, try to keep your distance. Krueger walks out of the office, shaking his head in disbelief. Woody and Buzz exchange frustrated looks, clearly not satisfied with the outcome. Well, that went about as well as expected. What now, Woody? I guess we just have to keep an eye on Magikarp and hope it doesn't cause more trouble. The camera captures their resigned expressions before transitioning back to the main arena, where the crowd, having watched the backstage antics on the big screens, is left laughing and buzzing with excitement for the next segment. Looks like Woody and Buzz are having a tough time with Magikarp. This Pokemon is really causing a splash. Freddy Krueger's got his hands full with this one. It'll be interesting to see how they handle Magikarp going forward. The unpredictability of Magikarp adds an interesting twist to tonight's events. Let's see how the rest of the show unfolds. The scene fades out, transitioning to the next segment as the energy in the arena remains high. Segment 5, Match 2 Sword Fighting Championship, Nikki Bella versus Lady Gaga. The camera transitions back to the main arena, where the crowd is buzzing with anticipation for the next match. The ring announcer steps into the spotlight, ready to introduce the competitors for the 14-12 Sword Fighting Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the 14-12 Sword Fighting Championship. Introducing first from New York City, weighing in at 115 pounds, Lady Gaga. The arena lights flash in a dazzling array of colors as Lady Gaga's music fills the air. The crowd erupts into loud cheers as Gaga makes her entrance, exuding charisma and confidence. She waves to the fans, her sword gleaming under the lights as she steps into the ring, ready for the challenge. And her opponent from Scottsdale, Arizona, weighing in at 125 pounds, the reigning and defending 14-12 sword fighting champion, Nikki Bella. The crowd's cheers grow louder as Nikki Bella makes her entrance. With her championship sword held high, Nikki exudes confidence and strength. She acknowledges the cheering fans with a nod and a smile before entering the ring, her eyes locked on Lady Gaga. The referee explains the rules to both competitors before signaling for the bell. The match begins with Nikki and Gaga circling each other, their swords at the ready. This is going to be an epic match. Nikki Bella versus Lady Gaga for the Sword Fighting Championship. Both women are incredibly talented. This will be a true test of skill and determination. Mr. Feeney, Nikki has the experience, but Lady Gaga's unpredictability could give her an edge. From the start, Nikki demonstrates her skill and experience, executing precise strikes and parries. Gaga, however, proves to be a formidable opponent, using her agility and quick reflex to evade Nikki's attacks and counter with swift strikes of her own. As the match progresses, Gaga reveals her witchcraft powers for the first time, shocking everyone in the arena. She chants an incantation, and suddenly her sword glows with a mystical energy. The crowd gasps as Gaga's newfound powers add a new layer of intensity to the match. Whoa, did you see that? Lady Gaga's got some serious magic up her sleeve. This changes everything. Nikki's in for a real challenge now. Gaga's powers are impressive, but Nikki's skill and determination will be put to the test. Gaga uses her powers to enhance her strikes, sending sparks flying with each clash of swords. Nikki, though momentarily taken aback, quickly regains her composure and focuses on countering Gaga's attacks. The crowd is on the edge of their seats, captivated by the intense and magical duel. Nikki skillfully parries Gaga's enchanted strikes, using her experience to anticipate and counter each move. Gaga, determined to win, intensifies her attacks, but Nikki's precision and technique allow her to stay one step ahead. In a dramatic moment, Nikki sees an opening and executes a flawless disarming move, knocking Gaga's sword out of her hand. The crowd erupts into cheers as Nikki quickly goes for the pin, the referee counting to 3. Here is your winner and still the 14-12 sword fighting champion, Nikki Bella. The crowd's cheers reach a fever pitch as Nikki stands victorious, holding her championship sword high above her head. Gaga, though defeated, receives a supportive cheer from the crowd for her valiant effort and impressive display of powers. What an incredible match. Nikki Bella retains her title, but Gaga gave it everything she had. Gaga's witchcraft powers were a real surprise, but Nikki's skill and determination won the day. Mr. Feeney, a performance of note from both women, but Bella reigns supreme. The camera captures Nikki's triumphant expression as she continues to celebrate with the fans. Gaga exits the ring, gracefully acknowledging the crowd's support before disappearing backstage. The scene fades out, transitioning to the next segment, leaving the audience energized and impressed by the thrilling and magical match. The show moves on to the next segment, the excitement in the arena still high from the intense and captivating match. Segment 6, Segment 3, Tyranno-Satan versus the Wet Bandits. The camera transitions to a backstage area where the atmosphere is tense and dimly lit. Pauly Shore is seen standing to the side, nervously fidgeting as he watches the scene unfold. In the distance, the Wet Bandits, Harry and Marv, are attempting to steal from a large, intimidating gear bag. "Come on, Marv, this has got to be worth something." "Yeah, Harry, we hit the jackpot." Suddenly, a deep, menacing growl echoes through the hallway. The camera pans to reveal Tyranno-Satan, his massive form filling the space as he approaches. His eyes blaze with fury, and his roars grow louder and more threatening. The Wet Bandits freeze in terror, realizing their grave mistake. Pauly Shore's eyes widen in horror as he watches the scene unfold from his hiding spot. "Dude, this is not going to end well." Tyranno-Satan doesn't speak, but his body language and deafening roars make it clear that he is furious. He takes a menacing step forward, causing the Wet Bandits to drop the gear bag and back away in fear. Marv, I think we should run." "Yeah, good idea, Harry." Before they can make a move, Tyranno-Satan lunges at them, his jaws snapping with terrifying force. The camera stays focused on Pauly Shore's face, capturing his shocked and horrified expression as the sounds of Harry and Marv's screams fill the air. "No, please, no! We're sorry! We're so sorry!" The sounds of crunching and roars continue as Pauly's expression shifts from shock to disbelief. He can't tear his eyes away from the scene, even though it's clear he's horrified by what's happening. "Dude, Tyranno-Satan just crunched the Wet Bandits." The camera remains focused on Pauly's face, showing every nuance of his reaction. The roars and screams fade, leaving a tense silence. Pauly slowly backs away, shaking his head in disbelief. "I knew those guys were trouble, but man, that was intense." The camera finally pans away from Pauly, showing the aftermath of the scene with the empty gear bag lying on the floor. The menacing presence of Tyranno-Satan lingers in the air, even as he disappears down the hallway. The scene fades out, transitioning back to the main arena where the crowd, having watched the dramatic backstage events on the big screens, is left buzzing with excitement and a touch of nervous laughter. Well, it looks like the Wet Bandits bit off more than they could chew this time. Mr. Feeney. Tyranno-Satan's wrath is not something to be taken lightly. That was wild. I'm still shaking. Let's get back to the action in the ring. The scene fades back to the main arena, where the energy remains high and the audience is eager to see what happens next. Segment 7, Match 3, Madonna versus Darkwing Duck. The camera transitions back to the main arena, where the crowd is eagerly anticipating the next match. The ring announcer steps into the spotlight, ready to introduce the competitors. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall, introducing first, from Bay City, Michigan, weighing in at 130 pounds, Madonna. The arena lights flash as Madonna's music fills the air. The crowd erupts into loud cheers as Madonna makes her entrance, exuding confidence and determination. She strides to the ring, clearly still miffed about Steiner's interference in her previous match. Her intense expression shows she's ready for a fight. And her opponent from St. Canard, weighing in at 140 pounds, the terror that flaps in the night, Darkwing Duck. The crowd's cheers continue as Darkwing Duck makes his entrance, leaping into the arena with his trademark flair. Darkwing poses dramatically, his cape billowing behind him as he makes his way to the ring. He acknowledges the fans with a wave before stepping into the ring, ready to face Madonna. The referee explains the rules to both competitors before signaling for the bell. The match begins with Madonna and Darkwing Duck circling each other, their eyes locked in a tense standoff. This is going to be one exciting match. Madonna is fired up and ready to go. Darkwing Duck is a skilled competitor, but Madonna's determination could give her the edge. Both competitors are incredibly talented. This should be a great contest. From the start, Madonna fights aggressively, clearly channeling her frustration from her previous match. She lunges at Darkwing Duck, delivering a series of powerful strikes and kicks. Darkwing tries to evade her attacks, but Madonna's intensity keeps him on the defensive. Darkwing Duck manages to counter with a few quick moves of his own, using his agility to dodge and retaliate. However, Madonna's relentless aggression makes it difficult for him to gain any significant momentum. Madonna is really bringing the heat tonight. She's not holding back at all. Darkwing Duck needs to find a way to turn this around. Madonna is dominating the match. Madonna's determination is impressive, but Darkwing Duck's resilience should not be underestimated. As the match progresses, Madonna continues to press her advantage, delivering a powerful roundhouse kick that sends Darkwing Duck to the mat. She goes for the pin, but Darkwing kicks out at the last second, much to the crowd's excitement. Darkwing Duck, realizing he needs to change tactics, waits for the right moment. As Madonna charges at him for another attack, Darkwing ducks under her strike and quickly rolls her up in a surprise pinning maneuver. The referee counts to 3 and the crowd erupts into cheers as Darkwing Duck is declared the winner. Here is your winner, Darkwing Duck. Well, that was a quick one. The crowd's cheers continue as Darkwing Duck stands victorious, raising his arms in triumph. Madonna, clearly frustrated by the outcome, gets to her feet, her expression a mix of anger and disbelief. In an unexpected twist, Darkwing Duck approaches Madonna with a hopeful smile. He pulls out a small ring box and drops to one knee, proposing to Madonna in front of the entire arena. Madonna, will you marry me? The crowd falls silent, watching in anticipation as Madonna looks down at Darkwing Duck. The camera captures her awkward and bewildered expression as she processes the unexpected proposal. After a moment, Madonna shakes her head slightly, clearly uncomfortable with the situation. She turns and walks out of the ring without saying a word, leaving Darkwing Duck kneeling and holding the ring box, looking crestfallen. The camera captures the mixed reactions of the crowd, some cheering for Darkwing Duck's bravery, while others laugh at the awkwardness of the situation. Well, that didn't go as planned for Darkwing Duck. Talk about a surprise ending. You've got to admire his courage, but maybe a wrestling ring isn't the best place for a proposal. Mr. Feeney. Indeed, this match was full of surprises. Madonna's frustration was evident, but Darkwing Duck's resilience and unexpected proposal made it memorable. The camera captures Darkwing Duck's dejected expression as he stands up and exits the ring, still holding the ring box. The scene fades out, transitioning to the next segment, leaving the audience buzzing with excitement and amusement from the unexpected turn of events. The show moves on to the next segment, the energy in the arena still high from the dramatic and surprising match. Segment 8, Segment 4, Backstage Brawl, Kurt Angle versus the Fonz. The camera transitions to the backstage area where Kurt Angle and the Fonz are seen exchanging heated words. The tension is palpable as their argument quickly escalates. You think you're tough, Fonz? I'm an Olympic gold medalist. You don't stand a chance against me. Hey, don't underestimate the Fonz, Angle. I've dealt with punks tougher than you. The intensity of their argument reaches a boiling point, and suddenly the two men start a violent brawl. Fists fly as they crash into equipment and knock over tables. The camera follows the chaotic scene as they grapple and trade blows, causing havoc in the backstage area. As the brawl continues, they inadvertently crash into Santa Claus, who is in the middle of filming a promo about peace and harmony. Santa is knocked off balance, and his jolly demeanor is momentarily replaced with surprise and frustration. Oh, hey, watch where you're brawling! Kurt Angle and the Fonz, too engrossed in their fight to notice Santa's protest, continue their intense brawl. The camera captures the chaotic scene as crew members scramble to get out of the way and avoid the flying debris. Whoa, Angle and the Fonz are really going at it. This is nuts. Elvira, Santa's trying to spread some peace, but it looks like he's caught in the middle of a war zone. This brawl is getting out of control. Someone needs to step in and break it up. Santa Claus, dusting himself off and adjusting his hat, shakes his head in exasperation. He steps back, wisely deciding to let the brawlers sort out their differences without further interference. The camera continues to follow the brawl as Kurt Angle and the Fonz crash into a stack of crates, sending them tumbling down. The noise is deafening and the scene is pure chaos. You're going down, Fonz? We'll see about that angle. Finally, a group of security personnel rushes in to separate the two combatants. They struggle to pull Kurt and the Fonz apart, but eventually they manage to restrain them, bringing a semblance of order back to the backstage area. The camera captures the aftermath of the brawl. Equipment scattered everywhere, crates knocked over, and Santa Claus shaking his head as he walks away. Ho ho ho. Peace and harmony, folks. Let's all try to remember that. The scene fades out, transitioning back to the main arena, where the crowd, having watched the dramatic backstage events on the big screens, is left buzzing with excitement. What a wild brawl. Angle and the Fonz really tore the place apart. Santa's message of peace and harmony might have to wait until after this chaos settles. This backstage brawl has added another layer of intensity to tonight's events. Let's see what happens next. The scene fades back to the main arena, where the energy remains high and the audience is eager to see what happens next. Segment 9, Match 4, Competitive Eating Championship, Pizza Eating Contest. The camera transitions back to the main arena, where the crowd is buzzing with anticipation for the next match. The ring announcer steps into the spotlight, ready to introduce the competitors for the 1412 Competitive Eating Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a pizza eating contest and is for the 1412 Competitive Eating Championship. Introducing first from the North Pole, weighing in at 300 pounds, Santa Claus. The arena fills with a mix of cheers and laughter as Santa Claus makes his entrance, waving to the crowd with his jolly demeanor. Santa takes his seat at the table, which is piled high with pizzas, ready to compete. And his opponent, from New York City, weighing in at 200 pounds, the reigning and defending 1412 competitive eating champion, Joey Tribbiani. The crowd erupts into loud cheers as Joey Tribbiani makes his entrance. With a confident grin, Joey walks to the ring, acknowledging the fans' support with enthusiastic waves. He takes his seat opposite Santa, his eyes gleaming with determination. The referee explains the rules, and both competitors ready themselves at the table. On your marks, get set, eat. The bell rings, and both Joey and Santa dive into the pizza with fervor. Joey, known for his legendary appetite, stuffs his face with slices, devouring them at an astonishing pace. Santa, despite his jolly exterior, proves to be a formidable competitor, munching through the pizzas with determination. This is going to be epic. Joey and Santa in a pizza-eating showdown. Elvira, Santa's giving it his all, but Joey's a pizza-eating pro. Both competitors are showing remarkable stamina. This will be a close contest. As the competition progresses, it becomes clear that Joey's pizza-devouring skills are unmatched. Santa keeps up admirably, but Joey's pace is relentless. The crowd watches in awe as Joey demolishes slice after slice, his determination unwavering. With the final slices in sight, Joey takes a deep breath and finishes his last pizza, raising his arms in triumph as the referee signals the end of the contest. Here is your winner, and still the 1412 competitive eating champion, Joey Tribbiani. The crowd erupts into wild cheers as Joey stands victorious, holding his championship belt high above his head. Santa, though defeated, graciously acknowledges Joey's victory with a nod and a smile. Joey's the food champ, who would have thought? Just as the celebration is in full swing, Chandler Bing's music hits, and the crowd's reaction is a mix of cheers and curious murmurs. Chandler strides to the ring with a determined look on his face. He approaches Santa Claus, who looks at him with a puzzled expression. Santa, we need to talk about the awful present you gave me in 1983. Before Santa can respond, Chandler suddenly kicks him below the belt, causing Santa to double over in pain. The crowd erupts into boos, their cheers turning into a chorus of disapproval. Whoa, Chandler just kicked Santa! That's not cool! What was he thinking? The crowd is not happy about this at all. Mr. Fiendler's actions are completely uncalled for. This is going to get him a lot of heat. The camera captures the crowd's reaction, with many fans booing and shouting at Chandler. Joey, visibly shocked and upset, stands between Chandler and Santa, trying to calm the situation. Chandler, what the heck are you doing? This isn't the time or place. Chandler, realizing the extent of his actions, looks around at the booing crowd, his expression a mix of defiance and regret. He shrugs and backs away, leaving the ring as Santa slowly recovers with Joey's help. The scene fades out, transitioning back to the main arena, where the crowd is still buzzing with excitement and disapproval from the shocking turn of events. I can't believe what just happened. Chandler really crossed the line there. This is going to have some serious repercussions. The crowd is not happy with Chandler. Chandler's actions have certainly added a new layer of drama to tonight's events. Let's see how this unfolds. The scene fades back to the main arena, where the energy remains high and the audience is eager to see what happens next. Segment 10. Segment 5, Scott Steiner's backstage reign of terror. The camera transitions to the backstage area, where Scott Steiner, his sentient dumpster partner, and his pack of rabid tigers are seen parading around with a menacing presence. Steiner's imposing figure leads the way, followed closely by the growling tigers and the sentient dumpster, which rolls along ominously. Listen up, you bunch of losers. I'm Scott Steiner, and I run this place. Anyone who thinks they're tough enough to step up, come find me. The camera follows as Steiner and his entourage approach Earthworm Jim, who is chatting with a crew member. Steiner shoves Earthworm Jim against the wall, sneering at him. You think you're some kind of hero? You're nothing but worm food. Before Earthworm Jim can respond, Steiner grabs him and tosses him into the dumpster, which clangs shut with a loud bang. The tigers growl menacingly, adding to the intimidation. Steiner continues his rampage, spotting Bill Murray nearby. Murray, caught off guard, tries to back away, but Steiner's tigers block his path. Steiner steps up, towering over Murray. Bill Murray? Huh? You think your comedy and charm will save you? Not a chance. Steiner lifts Bill Murray and throws him into the dumpster with a loud crash. The sentient dumpster shakes slightly, seemingly pleased with its latest occupant. The camera then shifts to Michael Jackson, who is rehearsing some dance moves in a corner. Steiner's eyes gleam with malice as he approaches. Michael Jackson, the king of pop. Let's see how you moonwalk out of this one. Steiner grabs Michael Jackson, who tries to resist but is overpowered. He is unceremoniously tossed into the dumpster, which clangs shut once again. The tigers growl in approval, their eyes gleaming in the dim light. In the background, Bars watches the scene unfold, his expression one of barely contained fury. He clenches his fists, clearly seething at Steiner's actions and setting up for a future showdown. The audacity of Scott Steiner knows no bounds. This reign of terror cannot go unchecked. Steiner's really pushing his luck. Someone needs to stand up to him, and soon. Elvira. Bars looks ready to explode. This could lead to an epic confrontation. The camera captures Steiner's smug expression as he continues his parade, feeling invincible with his tigers and dumpster at his side. The scene fades out, transitioning back to the main arena, where the crowd, having watched the backstage rampage on the big screens, is left buzzing with anticipation for the inevitable showdown between Bars and Steiner. The scene fades back to the main arena, where the energy remains high and the audience is eager to see what happens next. Segment 11. Match 5, World Championship, Bars versus Vince Russo. The camera transitions back to the main arena, where the crowd is buzzing with anticipation for the main event. The ring announcer steps into the spotlight, ready to introduce the competitors for the 14-12 World Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the 1412 World Championship. Introducing first, the special guest referee from Bay City, Michigan, weighing in at 276 pounds, Scott Steiner. The arena fills with a mix of boos and cheers as Scott Steiner makes his entrance. His intimidating presence and menacing demeanor set the tone for the match. Steiner flexes his muscles and glares at the audience before stepping into the ring. Introducing the challenger from Long Island, New York, weighing in at 240 pounds, Vince Russo. The lights dim and the crowd reacts with a mix of boos and jeers as Vince Russo makes his entrance. Carrying a baseball bat covered in chocolate ice cream, Russo strides confidently to the ring, a smirk on his face. He acknowledges the crowd with a mocking wave before stepping into the ring. And his opponent from the streets of New York City, weighing in at 220 pounds, the reigning and defending 1412 world champion, Bars. The crowd erupts into loud cheers as Bars makes his entrance. With a determined stride, Bars walks to the ring, his championship belt glinting under the arena lights. He acknowledges the fans' support with a nod and a raised fist, exuding confidence and focus as he steps into the ring. The referee, Scott Steiner, signals for the bell, and the match begins. Russo immediately charges at Bars with the baseball bat covered in chocolate ice cream, swinging it with all his might. The bat connects with Bars, sending him reeling and covering him in chocolate ice cream. Whoa, Russo's not wasting any time. He's already swinging for the fences. Bars looks furious. This is going to get intense. Russo's tactics are underhanded, but Bars' resilience will be put to the test. Bars, enraged by the attack, shakes off the initial shock and charges at Russo with a renewed fury. He lands a series of powerful strikes, driving Russo back. The crowd roars with approval as Bars takes control of the match. Steiner, serving as the special guest referee, begins to interfere, trying to give Russo an advantage. He attempts to trip Bars and even shoves him at one point, but Bars skillfully dodges Steiner's interference, focusing on taking out Russo. Russo, realizing he's losing control, tries to use the bat again, but Bars catches it and yanks it out of Russo's hands. With a swift move, Bars smashes the bat across his knee, breaking it in half and tossing the pieces aside. The crowd erupts into cheers as Bars delivers a series of powerful moves, culminating in a devastating finisher that leaves Russo sprawled on the mat. Bars quickly goes for the pin, and the replacement referee counts to 3. Here is your winner, and still the 1412 world champion, Bars. Bars is still the champ. Take that, Steiner! The crowd's cheers reach a fever pitch as Bars stands victorious, holding his championship belt high above his head. Steiner, seething with frustration, glares at Bars, clearly upset that his interference didn't change the outcome. As Bars celebrates, the sentient dumpster and the Iron Sheik make their way to the ring. The crowd's cheers turn to boos as they approach, clearly up to no good. Bars, you no good. You think you're the champion? You're nothing. Before Bars can react, the sentient dumpster and the Iron Sheik ambush him, attacking him from behind. Bars fights back valiantly, but the 2-on-1 assault begins to overwhelm him. The crowd boos loudly, their support for Bars unwavering. This is a travesty. Bars is being ambushed after an incredible victory. The audacity of Steiner, the dumpster, and Sheik. This is despicable. Bars needs backup. This ambush is unfair and uncalled for. The camera captures the chaotic scene as Bars struggles against the onslaught. Despite the ambush, Bars refuses to back down, fighting with every ounce of strength he has left. The scene fades out, transitioning back to the main arena, where the crowd, having watched the dramatic events unfold, is left buzzing with excitement and anticipation for the next developments. Bars showed incredible heart tonight, but this ambush leaves a bad taste. What's next for our champion? Bars won't take this lying down. There's sure to be repercussions for Steiner, the dumpster, and Sheik. Tonight's events have set the stage for an explosive showdown. Stay tuned, folks. The scene fades back to the main arena where the energy remains high and the audience is eager to see what happens next. Segment 12, Segment 6, Pauly Shore, Elvira, and the Random Kid. The camera transitions to a quieter backstage area where Pauly Shore is seen approaching Elvira. He looks concerned, clearly trying to find the right words to comfort her about Tyrannosatan's recent rampage. Hey, Elvira. I know things have been pretty wild lately with Tyrannosatan going on a rampage and all. Are you doing okay? Elvira, her usual composed and gothic self, looks at Pauly with a mix of amusement and slight impatience. She brushes off his concern with a wave of her hand. This is wrestling, Pauly. Things happen. Pauly looks a bit deflated but nods in understanding. Elvira, ever the professional, shifts her focus to the upcoming interview. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an interview to conduct. Elvira steps forward, the camera following her to a setup where Bobby Heenan stands with a random kid who looks about 12 years old and is dressed in oversized wrestling gear. Heenan has a proud, almost smug expression on his face as Elvira begins the interview. Joining me now is the legendary manager Bobby Heenan and his latest protege. Bobby, what can you tell us about this young talent? Bobby Heenan smiles, putting a hand on the kid's shoulder as he begins to speak. Let me tell you something, Elvira. This kid right here, he's got more talent and attitude than anyone else in 1412 wrestling. He respects nobody, and he's going straight to the top. Mark my words, he's going to shake things up around here. The random kid, looking excited and mischievous, grabs the microphone from Elvira. He pauses for a moment, a mischievous grin spreading across his face. Poop! The kid bursts into laughter and then suddenly runs off, leaving Elvira standing there with a bemused expression. Bobby Heenan looks slightly exasperated but still proud. Pauly Shore, well, that was something. A memorable interview, to say the least. Bobby Heenan shakes his head with a chuckle, clearly amused by his young protege's antics. What did I tell you? This kid's got character. Just wait and see what he does next. Elvira, maintaining her professionalism, nods and wraps up the segment. There you have it, folks. Bobby Heenan's new protege is definitely one to watch. Back to you, Pauly. The camera captures Elvira's composed expression as she hands the microphone back to the crew. The scene then transitions back to the main arena, where the crowd, having watched the humorous and unpredictable interview on the big screens, is left laughing and cheering. Elvira always keeps it professional, even with surprises like that. Can't wait to see what that kid does next. Mr. Feeney. Bobby Heenan's protege certainly made an impression. Let's see if he can back up the attitude with some action. In wrestling, you never know what's going to happen next. That's what makes it so exciting. The scene fades back to the main arena, where the energy remains high and the audience is eager to see what happens next. Segment 13, Match 6, Tag Team Championship, Aly and AJ versus Beavis and Butthead versus Grumblebee and Slippery Shark versus the Headbangers. Elimination match. The camera transitions back to the main arena, where the crowd is buzzing with anticipation for the Tag Team Championship match. The ring announcer steps into the spotlight, ready to introduce the competitors. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is an elimination match for the 1412 Tag Team Championship. Introducing first the challengers from the cartoon world, weighing in at a combined weight of 300 pounds, Beavis and Butthead. The arena fills with a mix of cheers and laughter as Beavis and Butthead make their entrance, their antics causing the crowd to cheer loudly. They high-five each other and the fans before stepping into the ring. Introducing next, from the depths of the sea and the skies, weighing in at a combined weight of 400 pounds, Grumblebee and Slippery Shark. Grumblebee and Slippery Shark make their entrance, their imposing presence capturing the attention of the crowd. They stride confidently to the ring, ready for battle. Introducing next, from the Attitude Era, weighing in at a combined weight of 450 pounds, the Headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher. The Headbangers make their entrance, their energy and intensity firing up the crowd. They headbang and pump their fists as they make their way to the ring, eager to reclaim the titles. And finally, from the world of pop, weighing in at a combined weight of 260 pounds, the reigning and defending 1412 Tag Team Champions, Aly and AJ. The crowd erupts into loud cheers as Aly and AJ make their entrance. With confident smiles and their championship belts held high, they wave to the fans before stepping into the ring. The referee explains the rules to all four teams before signaling for the bell. The match begins with a flurry of action as all four teams go at each other, the ring filled with chaos and excitement. Grumblebee and Slippery Shark take control early, isolating the headbangers. With a powerful doomsday device, they eliminate Mosh and Thrasher, much to the crowd's surprise. Grumblebee and Slippery Shark are on fire! The headbangers are out! That was an impressive move. The competition is heating up. As the match continues, the random kid managed by Bobby Heenan runs down to the ring. He stops near the eliminated Mosh and, to the crowd's shock and laughter, urinates on Mosh's foot. The distraction allows Beavis to take advantage, eliminating the headbangers with a quick roll-up. Did that kid just... Only in 14-12 wrestling. A distraction that's both crude and effective. The headbangers are out. The match progresses with Beavis and Butthead and Grumblebee and Slippery Shark turning their attention to Aly and AJ. Despite the cartoon duo's chaotic tactics and attempts to disrupt the match, Aly and AJ's teamwork and strategy shine through. Aly and AJ manage to dodge Grumblebee and Slippery Shark's attacks, isolating Beavis and Butthead. In a final dramatic sequence, Aly and AJ perform a double-team maneuver on Butthead, pinning him for the victory. As the referee counts to 3, the crowd erupts into cheers. Here are your winners and still the 14-12 tag team champions, Aly and AJ. The crowd's cheers reach a fever pitch as Aly and AJ stand victorious, holding their championship belts high above their heads. Beavis, defeated, sits on the mat while Butthead laughs. Hey, double team. That's funny. Aly and AJ did it. They retained their titles despite all the chaos. Their teamwork and resilience really shone through tonight. A hard-fought victory for Aly and AJ. They've proven themselves as true champions. The camera captures Aly and AJ's triumphant expressions as they continue to celebrate with the fans. The scene fades out, transitioning to the next segment, leaving the audience energized and impressed by the intense and captivating match. Segment 14, Match 7, Dave Meltzer versus Vince Russo. The camera transitions back to the main arena, where the crowd is buzzing with anticipation for the next match. The ring announcer steps into the spotlight, ready to introduce the competitors. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first from Long Island, New York, weighing in at 240 pounds, Vince Russo. The lights dim and the crowd reacts with a mix of boos and jeers as Vince Russo makes his entrance. Clearly fatigued from his earlier match with Bars, Russo limps slightly as he makes his way to the ring. Despite his fatigue, he exudes defiance, ready to face his next challenger. And his opponent from San Jose, California, weighing in at 190 pounds, Dave Meltzer. The crowd's reaction is mixed as Dave Meltzer makes his entrance. With a confident stride, Meltzer heads to the ring, acknowledging the fans with a nod and a determined expression. He steps into the ring, ready to take advantage of Russo's weakened state. The referee explains the rules to both competitors before signaling for the bell. The match begins with Russo looking visibly tired and sluggish from his previous bout. This is going to be interesting. Russo's already taken a beating tonight, and now he's got Meltzer to deal with. Meltzer's got the advantage here. Let's see if he can capitalize on it. Russo's fatigue will be a major factor in this match. Meltzer has a real opportunity here. From the start, Meltzer uses his energy and quickness to keep Russo on the defensive. He lands a series of quick strikes, targeting Russo's already sore spots. Russo tries to fight back, but his movements are sluggish and he struggles to keep up with Meltzer's pace. Meltzer capitalizes on Russo's fatigue, hitting him with a series of high-impact moves that leave Russo reeling. The crowd is on the edge of their seats, sensing an upset in the making. Meltzer's really bringing it. Russo's in trouble here. Elvira. Russo's fatigue is clearly affecting him. Meltzer's taking full advantage. Meltzer's strategy is sound. He's exploiting Russo's weaknesses perfectly. In a dramatic moment, Meltzer delivers a powerful suplex, followed by a quick roll-up. The referee counts to 3, and the crowd erupts into a mix of cheers and boos as Meltzer is declared the winner. Here is your winner, Dave Meltzer. Meltzer with the scoop. What an upset. Meltzer stands victorious, raising his arms in triumph. Russo, defeated and exhausted, rolls out of the ring, leaving Meltzer to soak in the moment. But Meltzer isn't done. He grabs a microphone and stands in the center of the ring, his expression shifting from triumph to frustration. All right, listen up. I've got something to say, and you all need to hear it. The crowd quiets down, curious to hear what Meltzer has to say. Meltzer paces the ring, his frustration evident. There isn't enough wrestling on these 14-12 shows. It's supposed to be a wrestling show, but what do we get? Nonsense and chaos. The crowd reacts with a mix of cheers and murmurs, clearly divided on Meltzer's opinion. And do you know who I blame for this? Vince Russo. He's the reason why we don't get the wrestling we deserve. He's turned this place into a circus. The crowd's reaction grows louder, with some fans booing and others cheering in agreement. Meltzer continues his tirade, his voice rising with passion. We need more real wrestling, more real matches, not these ridiculous segments and distractions. It's time for a change, and I'm going to make sure it happens. Meltzer drops the microphone, his message clear. The crowd's reaction is a cacophony of noise, with some fans supporting his call for more wrestling and others still processing his bold statements. Well, Meltzer didn't hold back. He's calling out Russo and demanding more wrestling. Meltzer's got a point, but his approach is certainly stirring things up. Meltzer's passion for wrestling is evident. It will be interesting to see how this plays out in the coming weeks. The camera captures Meltzer's determined expression as he exits the ring, leaving the arena buzzing with excitement and anticipation for what's to come. The scene fades out, transitioning to the next segment. Segment 15. The camera transitions to a quieter backstage area where Pauly Shore is once again seen trying to woo Elvira with a bottle of Kylie Minogue wines. Pauly looks hopeful, holding out 2 glasses and the wine bottle. Come on, Elvira. Just 1 glass to toast the end of the show? Elvira, visibly tired from the night's chaos, finally gives in with a sigh and a small smile. All right, Pauly. 1 glass, but only to toast to the end of this wild night. Pauly's face lights up with excitement as he quickly pours the wine into the glasses. He hands one to Elvira, who takes it with a hint of amusement. They clink their glasses together. To the end of a wild night and the hopes of a less chaotic tomorrow. They both take a sip of the wine, but the moment of calm is abruptly interrupted as Mike Tyson walks in out of nowhere. The crowd's reaction is a mix of surprise and excitement as Tyson approaches Pauly. Hey, Pauly! Before Pauly can react, Tyson throws a quick, powerful punch, knocking Pauly out cold. Elvira steps back, her expression one of shock and disbelief. Well, that escalated quickly. Tyson, seemingly unfazed, walks further down the hallway where Jay and Silent Bob are hanging out. Jay, with his usual bravado, makes a critical mistake. Hey, isn't that Evander Holyfield? Tyson's eyes narrow, and without a word, he knocks out both Jay and Silent Bob with swift punches. The camera captures the stunned expressions of everyone around. As Tyson continues down the hallway, he comes across Super Mario and Catherine Isabel having a conversation. Without warning, he knocks them both out as well, leaving a trail of chaos in his wake. The sentient Surge soda vending machine, clearly indignant, steps up to Tyson, its lights flickering menacingly. Tyson just smirks and punches a hole straight through it, soda spraying everywhere. The camera follows Tyson as he walks to a nearby room where he finds a group of pigeons. The episode ends with Tyson laughing hysterically and playing with the pigeons, his demeanor a bizarre mix of menace and amusement. Elvira, to the end of a wild night and the hopes of a less chaotic tomorrow. The camera captures Elvira's bemused expression as she looks down at the unconscious Pauly Shore. The scene fades out, transitioning to a summary of the current champions. Current champions coming out of episode 5, laser gun surfing battle champion, Eric Matthews. Sword fighting champion, Nikki Bella. Competitive eating champion, Joey Tribbiani. World champion, Bars, Tag Team Champions, Aly and AJ. The show ends with a final shot of the champions, each holding their titles proudly. The camera fades to black, leaving the audience eagerly anticipating the next episode. Pauly Shore. Join us next time for more action, chaos, and surprises in 1412 Wrestling. The credits roll as the theme music plays, marking the end of another wild and unforgettable episode of 1412 Wrestling.